So here's my tutorial on how to do conversions. Conversions are a great way to add some character to some of your more powerful models, or your regular models if you have a lot of free time. Here's a decent example that I've been working on. Let me zoom in on him a little bit here. He's not glued down yet, so. This could be a Scar veteran or maybe even an old blood. See, I bulked him up and put this fancy headdress on him and redid his weapon, and he's got this cool tortoiseshell shield. So I'm going to try and go through the steps of how to do a conversion. It's going to be a long process, so this video will be a little bit choppy. We're going to show some stuff and then cut, and I'll do some work aside and then start the video again. What we're going to do is we're going to make a Saurus warrior here, and we're going to make one that's throwing a knife. Kind of give a little action to the figure. So the first step in a conversion is trying to come up with a theme, an idea or action that you want. And the easiest thing to do is think about what kind of things your character would be doing. Lizard men kind of looked at what lizards do in the wild, and they make themselves big and scary. They're very emotive and want to show how scary they are to scare off their enemies. So I've got this guy here who's flared out real big, and I got this guy here, and he's slamming the ground with his weapon. Bring that lizardy character into it. So this one, just for action's sake, is going to be throwing a knife. Real quick, show the pieces I'm going to start with. Obviously, we've got the body and the leg that attaches to the body here. We're going to cut that up, and I'll get to that in a minute. The shield and the arm, I'm not going to do a lot with. They're just kind of going to be there. I'm going to change the position a little bit. And the weapons here, he's going to be throwing a knife, but we still want to represent the hand weapon for the sake of WYSIWYG. I'm going to use this guy. I'm actually going to take the arm off and have it stuck in the ground. So, what are the parts we need? We have these two. And if we look at position, it's always so weird to do with the camera. There's a normal position. Kind of meh. If you look at how you throw a weapon, you're not really stooped over too much. Maybe we'll stoop them over a teeny bit. Mostly what we're going to need to do is I'm going to want to turn this knee, well, maybe a little more forward. So I might actually break some of these joints and push the knee in. But more importantly, if we look at the body, he's twisting to the left here, but he's going to be throwing with his right hand. So I'm going to be making a cut right around this middle part, and then we're going to be rotating the body. And you can kind of see that with this figure. He's rotated the other way. And I did that here. I cut there and turned the body. In his case, we had to reposition some of these spines so we get this curve. But I don't think that's going to be as necessary this time around. We're not going to bend him over so much, and we're not going to turn him quite as much as this. So that's what we're going to do to the body. For the shield arm, we're actually the same as that other model. We're going to chop. We're going to chop right there. We're going to shave a little bit off of this muscle and just bend it in a little bit. And the reason is that then when we mount the shield, instead of being pushed out the way that this guy's is, and this guy's arm is actually extended a little more, it's going to be tucked up by the shoulder like this. That'll be very natural looking. here's a knife. It was actually from a Skaven set. It's really important with conversions. Trade with your friends. You're gonna have, when you're done, you're gonna have these sprues, and they're gonna have this tons of stuff like weapons and things that you didn't use, and you're gonna have no use for them. Give them to someone else and get them to, in exchange for these little severed heads here that you won't put on your models, they can give you a Skaven knife that you can throw. So there you go. We took a Skaven knife and I marked it up a little bit to be more, there it is, to be more of this obsidian kind of feel, a little less smooth, and be more in character for the lizard man. He's going to throw that. What we're going to do is we're going to take a pin vise, we're going to drill a hole in the back here, and we'll put his arm, so if you imagine this arm here doesn't have a weapon and it's extended, we'll put his arm pretty close, like right there. So it really gives the illusion that he's throwing the knife. We'll have the fingers open, but there will be a wire that just kind of connects it in there. And oh, and the very last thing we'll do, like I kind of mentioned before, we're going to need to take this arm off of this weapon, and then we're going to chop the end off, and we're going to kind of embed it in the ground, so it looks like he sort of took his sword, stuck it in the ground, and threw this knife at the enemy. So I'm going to chop up these pieces, and I'll start the video up again as soon as they're chopped up. I'll show putting some of them together, and we'll go from there.
What do you want?
Alright, so I chopped up a lot of these pieces, and we're going to start putting some of them together. On the shield arm, we have 2 halves of the arm here, and glue this together. What I did was I chopped at the joint and shaved off a little bit, so when we put this together,
What do you have hidden in your pocket, Sophie?
Huh? Oh.
the arm will be a lot more closed than
What is this?
Give it to me.
what they normally are.
Huh?
So there we go for the shield arm. Now
Can you read that?
That is ancient sorcery. And quite powerful, too.
It's from the Witch of the Waste?
here's for the
You who swallowed a
knife arm. I chopped off the sword that was on here, and the inside I cleared out the fingers, kind of cut a groove in to drill a hole and put the wire in there. So drill a hole in the bottom of the knife.
Gone.
The mark may be gone, but the spell is still there. Excuse me, my friends. Please continue your meal.
I can
Calcifer,
have it look like it's going to throw. I was kind of thinking maybe around there might work
while
well.
you're at it, make hot water from my bag.
So the last part is the body. I decided that,
I would never work for that witch. She's the
there we go, I decided that this is kind of going to be okay as far as the feet position, just as long as the body worked okay. So that's about the position we're going to go for right there. I think that's going to work well. And you can see here, bottom half, top half, pretty clean cut. And where this used to sit, kind of like that, I'm going to turn it so it sits about like that. We'll glue that up. And the last piece I had to cut is a sword. That's going to pretty much just go like that. I cut the end so it can look like it's sticking out of the ground. And I cleaned up the handle so there's no hand on it. So I kind of looked at how I was going to attach it because I didn't want to just glue it. It's going to break off. So I tried to pin, but there's not enough room there. What I'm probably going to do is cut a little groove about the same size as this sword in the base and then stick that in there and glue it. And I'll check back as soon as I got these pieces put together. Alright, so I've put a lot of the pieces together. You can kind of see a profile of him here. And I made a couple adjustments. One, you can see I changed the angle that the knife is sticking out at. Now I put in a different wire also. I made it really long. Once I'm done with the fingers, I'll cut that down so it's a lot closer to his hand. But that works for right now. Let me kind of turn him around. The head is just barely on. I've got the shoulder pulled back, as you can see, and it's out a little bit, so I'll leave enough room for the shield. Underneath, I'll take that off a moment, you can see where I attached the two pieces of the torso. See the round back as well. We'll need to putty that up to make that look tolerable. There's the inside of the hand. We'll be adding the extended fingers. I cut out all that so it didn't look like his hand was in a fist. I'll extend those 3 fingers out so it looks like it's open. And after the putty's done, we'll be good to go. Alright, so let's finish this up. I was able to putty all the joints and everything. We'll pull this guy out. You can see that the sword is sticking into the base. This guy's complete. We puttied up his torso, and his back is all cleaned up and scaly and filled in these joints and everything. You can see there that now the fingers are in. We've cut down that wire so the knife is leaving his hand just barely. Makes the wire a little harder to see. It'll be even more so once we've got it painted up. Let me turn it around so you can see the inside of the hand. Try and get that without so much shadow. 3 fingers, thumb, all good. So it looks like an open hand. See the knife coming out of it. And there's the arm puttied up so it looks nice. Good to go. So here's my final conversion. Nothing super special, you know, it's just a regular guy, but put that in the front line of the unit and helps it look a little extra cool. Hope that was helpful, and enjoy converting your own models.